Hello, Governor, and welcome to another edition of the Toker Talk Tuesday podcast, mate. Oh, I know what you're thinking. Sounds a bit different this week. I'm trying something new, people. What I'm seeing is that you got people like Trevor Noah and John Oliver and what's that guy's name? Jim Jeffries, Samantha Bee. They're all from different countries. And even though Samantha Bee doesn't have an accent, it seems to me like that's where it's going. So I was trying that thing where, I was having an English or a British an Australian accent. I don't know. It was one of those other white meat countries. But yeah, man, we're fucking back. I had to open it like that because I needed to open the podcast like this week has been. Fuck, dude. It's been fucking crazy. Like, who would have fucking thought that the world was gonna end like this in 1 week? In 1 week, you could pinpoint the start and the end of the world in maybe like a 2-week span if we're lucky. But it's been fucking crazy, yo. With that Kim Jong-un shit. I didn't get to talk about that last week because it had literally just happened that day whenever I was recording, so I didn't even get to address it. So I have to address it this week, man. So I had to do some research. I had to see what happened to North Korea that they're so fucking mad at us. And so what I ended up doing, like how they fucking got so unbalanced, what it is that they do, that they don't have like any fucking say in what they're doing as a country, yet they're so fucking powerful. What do they fucking sell or what? Because I seen a picture of it on Instagram where they have the picture of North Korea at night, like from space, and you can see Pyongyang, which is the city where they mainly stay, where almost all of the population is located in one city in North Korea. It's a one city country with fucking 15 nuclear missiles. But I had to fucking do some research on it because I was like, why the fuck are they so angry, Like, why are they so fucking crazy? What the hell happened that this random fucking crazy psycho guy is in power over there? So I looked it up and watched a documentary about it, and it showed me the whole history of how North Korea came to be. And apparently it was Korea was, I think, deflecting from China, if I'm not mistaken, or Malaysia. It might have been Malaysia. I don't know, it was some country. Look, I didn't pay attention to it that much, and whenever I watched it, I was fucking high as hell. So they deflected from one of those countries, and it was Kim Il-sung that was the warrior, the main person that led the rebellion, and he ended up becoming the leader there in North Korea. So Kim Il-sung apparently was the guy who had North Korea somewhat prosperous, and he ended up having a son with one of his wives or something like that, and that came to be Kim Jong-il, which is the father of the current leader, Kim Jong-un. And Kim Il-sung, apparently, who was the grandfather of the guy who's the leader now, he was, a pretty decent politician, I guess, leader, something like that, is, what I got from the documentary, that he wasn't all that bad, even though he was a dictator. He actually had North Korea, working and, fed, because he was working with the Russians and the Chinese, I believe it was. And they where was it going with this? Oh yeah, so Kim Il-sung, he ended up having that kid with that one lady, and apparently he had multiple kids. And the reason he chose Kim Jong-il, which was, I don't know why, but he ended up choosing him to be the heir to his throne, because he's a dictator. He's basically a fucking king. Anybody who questions him just off with their fucking head, to throw people in jail at any time. He's literally a fucking living king. I don't know why they still call him dictator. I guess because dictator has a negative connotation to it, so that's why they call him a dictator instead of calling him a king. Because if you call him a king, that's kind of like a, you know, you're raising him up. So he ended up giving it to his kid Kim Jong Il, and that guy, you know, the people around Kim Jong Un weren't too sure about him leading the country, and you know, the people weren't too sure about him leading the country because apparently he was a little like, I don't know what the documentary said that it was, that but people didn't trust him, I guess because he didn't, you know. Oh shit, I remember what it was. This crazy motherfucker watched his brother drown. I remember, that's what it fucking was. They watched this little crazy psycho Kim Jong Il, who is Kim Jong Un's dad, watched his brother die, and he was smiling at it. So he was like a fucking psychopath from the very beginning, and he chose to lead the country for some fucking reason, and the people around him were like, I don't know, they thought it was gonna be his uncle, which I think was his brother or cousin, or Kim Jong-un's brother. I think it was his uncle or something like that. It was somebody in the family, which wasn't supposed to be him, and they didn't want his son to be the heir at first because they didn't want it to be a like a dynasty type thing like the Chinese people had, to where it would just, you know, hand down to their kid, to their kid, to their kid, and eventually, you know, it's, you know, like I said, it's a fucking king, it's a monarchy. So they thought it was gonna go to his other family member, or their other family member, and that's what they're worried about whenever they give it to their son, because they're worried about his son because they knew that shit about him watching his fucking brother die. And he yeah, apparently he wasn't, like, his dad didn't fuck with him because, you know, he was out there busy being the, you know, king of North Korea, that one city country, and being the king of North Korea apparently takes up a lot of your time. So he didn't have any time for his kid, and by the time he ended up coming into power, I think he had a kid, or did he have, I don't remember. See, this is what fucking happens to you with weed, because I had remembered before I smoked, and then I smoked, and I was like, shit, I don't remember none of the documentary stuff. It's because I don't remember none of the fucking important stuff, dude. Because, well, none of the little details. I remember exactly what happened. Basically what happens is, grandfather gives his kid a country, and then that guy gives his kid a country. But while they're running the country, they didn't have any time to pay attention to their kids. So, you know, all of them are trying to impress daddy, and daddy was a fucking psychopath. So they end up running a fucking country, and now they have nuclear weapons because they're scared that if they don't have nuclear weapons, that they're gonna lose their independence, or that they're gonna lose their power, because they know that people are tired of his shit and that they don't want to live like that anymore. So they're scared, and the only way to keep them in check is saying that they're gonna be invaded by another country if, you know, they're not there to protect them, which is, you know, a lot of what's happening here. Well, not really. Yeah, because, you know, they're like, ISIS is gonna come and take over, even though they haven't gotten here too much. But anyways, back to the North Korea thing. I found out that you know, Kim Jong-un was only like 18 whenever he came into power, because his dad was sick, and, you know, once his dad got sick, it was maybe like a couple months after they found out he got sick that he had died. So he wasn't even really ready. And Kim Jong-un had gone to school in Switzerland, which really kind of bothered me. Because, like, damn, dude, the Swiss people are some fucking criminal ass motherfuckers. They took gold from the Nazis, you know. They had Jewish, like, paintings and stuff like that, like stuff that the Nazis took from Jewish people. They had a whole bunch of, like, of their property, and they have the banks that people don't pay taxes in. And they don't even fucking give you a complete slice of cheese. Like, the Swiss are some evil fucking people. And we all love them because they make nice watches. And because they have, you know, really good chocolate. So we don't say anything about it. But let's face it, man. The Swiss are some fucking crooks. I don't mean to offend any Swedish people that are listening to this podcast. Wait, is that how you say it? No, Sweden's a completely different fucking... Yeah. I mean Swiss people. It just sounds weird saying Swiss people because I think of people with fucking holes in them. Because of their cheese. So yeah, he ended up going to school over there in Switzerland. And because Kim Jong-il wanted him to get a better education, I guess. Or, I don't know, I guess they didn't want him to be found out that was his kid. I don't know. I guess he didn't want nothing to happen to him because he knew he was being a fucking dick out there. Because I found out that what he did was he ended up having to go to Japan or something like that, and he was trying to ask for forgiveness because he needed money because their country was going through a famine or something like that. So whenever they went to Japan to ask for, you know, forgiveness on certain stuff like that and try to, you know, get some money from them or funding or some shit like that, they asked him about the situation in which people under his orders had, you know, took in this 13-year-old girl, and they took her, and I guess she scratched them or something like that, and they ended up pulling out her fucking fingernails. They said that witnesses had seen, you know, freaking blood and pee everywhere because apparently she, like, peed on herself. And dude, they did that to a fucking 13-year-old girl. I guess it was something on a boat or something like that. I can't remember what the fuck it was, how they ended up finding the girl, but that's fucking terrible, dude. Under this guy's fucking orders, yo. And he ended up sending his kid to Switzerland because he didn't want nothing happening to him. And that's how, you know, they ended up coming back to fucking... Well, he ended up going back to North Korea after he was done with his education. And he ended up having to run the country because his dad died or something like that. And I seen a video of, you know, what's his face? The funeral, that guy's funeral. And I seen Kim Jong-un over there with the funeral car, the, what's it called? The hearse. Yeah, right, that's what it's called, the hearse. He was over there walking next to it, like on the front right on the passenger side. And dude, that shit it like freaked me out because I told y'all that I'm a limo driver, right? So I was thinking, I was like, dude, what if I had to drive that fucking hearse or that limo? Because it was a limo, it wasn't technically a hearse. Well, it was technically a hearse because it had the body in it, I guess. But the way it was shaped more like a limo. So I started thinking, I was like, what if I was that driver, and what if, you know, you go too fast on accident? Because he was walking next to it and they're like at a consistent speed. So I started thinking, I was like, what if he, you know, fucking turns too much to the right and he hits him with the car, or he runs over his foot, or he goes too fast and Kim Jong-un gets mad because he's not showing him respect or something like that, and he gets his fucking head chopped off. Like, how the fuck do you become a limo driver for that royal family over there in North Korea or whatever? Like, that'd be a lot of pressure on one man, I think. I wouldn't want to do that shit. So, yeah, so that's the type of fucking people that we're dealing with, is basically just 3 generations of fucking people that weren't there for their sons, and now we gotta fucking pay for that shit. See, that's why you gotta fucking pay attention to your kids, people. You gotta, discipline them. You gotta spank them sometimes. Because if not, you're gonna have a nuclear war afoot. That's what happened to fucking Donald Trump and Kim Jong-un. We got 2 little fat incompetent men that are holding the fate of the world, and they have daddy issues, both of them, and they're trying to impress daddy because they never got any love. And now we gotta worry with this shit, man. We gotta deal with this. Like, this is our problem now. This is our fucking problem, because we live in a world where these 2 people are fucking leaders somehow. In this really unfair, weird world, these fucking people are leaders. Anyways, so I gotta think, man. I was like, why don't we just fucking bomb them? I know that's insensitive or whatever, but it's a little true, man. We already have 7 billion people on this fucking planet. Do we really need, like, what, maybe 150,000 more? Or what did they say? 24 million? No, wait, that's a lot. No, never mind, scratch that. I thought it was on, like, 350,000. I just remember seeing something about, or was it 2.4 million? 24? I know I had a 2 and a 4 in it. If it's over 500,000, yeah, maybe we shouldn't kill him. But can we just send in, like, I don't know, fucking Liam Neeson? Let's send in Liam Neeson and have him, take down Kim Jong-un because he's tripping. Either that or just smack him around a little bit, like, yo, man, chill. You're acting like a real McBitch right now, and I don't appreciate that shit. Sorry if I started you people, but my dumb ass dropped the water bottle. Cause I get cotton mouth whenever I fucking do these podcasts. I wonder why. But anyways, man, on to something lighter. Transgender camp for kids. Apparently they're gonna have a transgender camp for kids, like, out there in New York City, which I don't fucking agree with, man. Like, how are you gonna let a fucking 7-year-old decide that he wants to be the complete opposite sex? What if he changes his mind whenever he's like 12 or something like that, and he's like, yo, man, I don't know what the fuck I was thinking? Because there's some 6-year-olds, 6, 7, 8-year-olds out right now that think they're fucking superheroes. You're gonna let them decide if they want to be a boy or a girl? And that's the whole fucking reason that Donald Trump is in office, is just fucking shit like that, man. People are tired of fucking shit like pushing, this kind of type of fucking agenda, I'm not saying that, transgender people shouldn't have equal rights, or they shouldn't, be able to voice their opinion or whatever, but I'm saying, even though they are, like, maybe, like, 0.34% or 3% or something like that of just America. I think it might have been less. I remember it being like a really small number. It might have been like 0.034%. You know what? Let me fucking Google this shit. I don't want to be fucking spewing shit out and then people be tweeting at me saying that I'm fucking transphobic or whatever. I'm gonna look it up. What amount of transgender, how do you spell it? In the world. Let's do in the world. Is that true? The New York Times, the first headline that I see is 1.4 million adults, which is 0.3%. Yeah, see, 0.3%. Only 0.3% of the United States population is comprised of trans people. All right, so 1.4 million people. Yeah, it's kind of a lot. But like, how are you gonna let kids decide shit like that, man? Like, if you want to become that as an adult, go ahead. But that's you making decisions as an adult. Like, you shouldn't even be able to wear slutty clothes until you're 18. Like, for girls and shit like that, you see all these freaking, like, 13, 12, 14-year-old girls out here dressing like little whores. Like, where are your fucking fathers? Like, my dad would never let any of my sisters fucking go out dressed like some of these fucking girls are out here, showing their fucking stomachs, showing their boobs and their ass fucking halfway hanging out. You think that they're gonna be able to decide their sexual, identification, what they are, their sex, their whole fucking gender? You think that they're gonna be able to decide what they are at the age of 7? Transgender camp for kids? Like, dude, calm the fuck down, yo. Like, that's the reason that Trump is in office, because it's random shit like that, yo. Like, for kids, like, it's like having a fucking, what? I don't know, man. I seen it on, might have been Facebook. I'm over here getting angry about a fucking Facebook post, man. I didn't even fucking do any research to see it. But still, the fact that somebody posted that shit on Facebook, and the, just possibility that it might be true, it's just annoying, yo. Like, you want to be represented, fine. You want to have equal rights, fine. But don't be fucking promoting that shit among kids, because they're not even able to fucking vote yet. How are they going to be able to choose their sex for the rest of their life? And it's weird, though, because people are like, oh, you could choose to be a boy or a girl whenever you want. It's like, but have some fucking dedication to you as an individual, yo. Like, you're just gonna change who you are every fucking 2 weeks? There's no consistency in your fucking life? You're too ashamed to be who you are that you have to change it every 2 weeks? I don't get that gender fluidity thing, man. And that's just me, bro, not understanding that shit. So I don't want nobody getting fucking mad and tweeting me. I don't want nobody in my DMs on Instagram. I don't want nobody leaving comments on YouTube. But that's just me, yo. Like, I don't know. Let me change the subject on that too, because I know that I don't really know what the fuck I'm talking about, because I don't understand it. Just, why would you want to be something other than what you are? Like, how insecure are you about yourself that you have to be something else? Like, I've never been like, oh, I wanted to be that guy, or like, I'm really a woman because I don't feel comfortable being a man. Like, why? How are you so uncomfortable in your own skin? That's what leads to fucking plastic surgery, bro. That's the epitome of reasons that people get plastic surgery, is that they're not happy with what they are, so they gotta change something about it. They just keep trying to change something about them because they don't feel happy with what they're given. And I think that's the fucking, that's the apex of greed right there. Is not being satisfied with what you got. You want more. I could be wrong. It could be that people do really identify as a girl whenever they're born a boy, or that a girl feels like a boy whenever she was born a girl. Or it could just be that we got it too fucking easy in life and people are bored. And they don't have nothing else to do, so they're like, let me try being a girl. I'm gonna chop off my penis, get rid of these balls, but I'm gonna keep the sack though, because I can use it as a coin purse. And I'm gonna install me a fleshlight. I'm gonna weld it in, and Now I'm a girl. You shall refer to me as such. And then they experiment being a girl, and then they find out that it's not all that it's cracked up to be. And then you want to be a boy again. But I don't know, man. I don't fucking know anything about that shit. Speaking of girls that want to be boys and boys that want to be girls, guys with man buns. I don't know why guys with man buns have wear that shit like on top of their head. I don't know if you've ever seen it. Like you see a lot of fucking soccer players with the little man bun on top of their head, and you look like a pineapple. Whenever I see them, that's all I fucking think. You look like a pineapple or a turnip. I seen one recently at the bar that I work at. He walked in, and he had, dude. What's weird is that some of the like cutest girls like guys with man buns. I don't fucking understand that shit. It's like, why do you want a guy that looks like a girl? Are you lesbian? Are you secretly lesbian? Are you experimenting? Are you tinkering on the edge of lesbianism? Is that how you say it? Lesbianism? But are you curious? So you got yourself a halfway breed, a transgender. You got yourself almost a transgender. Does that qualify as transgender? Having a man bun on top of your head, having a girl haircut. Is that the first step? Is that what happened to Bruce Jenner? Because I've seen his hair before he turned into Caitlyn, and he had long hair. Did he just like the long hair and was like, you know what, I think I'm gonna go through with this? He started shaving his legs first, then he started shaving his armpits. He's like, oh man, this is really smooth. I like my skin smooth. And then he got into a night or a summer dress, and he's like, you know what, this is not as hot as wearing jeans or shorts. To where if you're a guy, that's all you can wear is jeans and shorts. But if I'm a girl, I could wear a sundress. And he does live out there in Los Angeles, so it might have been hot. He's like, you know what, the sundress is way more comfortable, but you can see my penis through a sundress, and that might constitute a lawsuit. So let me go ahead and chop this fucker off. Has he chopped it off yet? Or does he just have the boobs? Does he have boobs and a penis? Is he still with that one girl? That the one that spawned the other 3 or 4 or whatever the fuck little squad that they have that's taking over the world. What is it? She? That's what she wants to be called, right? Caitlyn. I am Caitlyn. Is she still with that one girl? With that one lady? What's her name? I know it starts with a K, because they're fucking retarded like that. I think, right? It starts with a K. I don't know, but is she still with that one lady? Or did they separate? Would she be considered transphobic if she separated from Caitlyn whenever she went through that? Or is she like, no, I fell in love with Bruce. I don't know Caitlyn. I don't like Caitlyn. I don't want to get to know Caitlyn. Was she like that? Did she really play into it? That would have been funny. She goes along with it. It's like, it's me, Bruce. I thought you were Caitlyn. Well, I want to be called Caitlyn. Well, I don't know Caitlyn. I don't speak to strangers. It's like, but it's me, Bruce. You just say you were Caitlyn. It's like, I am Caitlyn. Oh, well, I don't speak to strangers, Mrs. Caitlyn. That would have been funny. She played into that shit. I hope I don't get any hate mail from North Koreans, from Trump supporters, or transgenders, because I will mark you as spam. And I don't need spam shit already in my fucking folder, even though I haven't even given you all my email. But anyways, like I said, man, it's been a fucking terrible week. The other thing that happened was this Friday, yo. This fucking Friday. Charlottesville, North Carolina, South Carolina, Virginia. Charlottesville, Virginia. How the hell did I say North Carolina, South Carolina? That's because that's where all the get her done people live. They had a rally all these fucking rallies and nothing ever fucking gets done, man. I don't know what the fuck the point of a rally is. I don't know if it's just to block traffic. I don't know. I guess it's to have the conversation that people are having. But they had a protest out there for the new Nazis, the neo-Nazis is what they call themselves, or white nationalists. It's like, damn, dude, really? Like, we're back at this shit again? And all because there are people that are trying to shame people for trying to be white. There's a whole bunch of fucking left people, which I've never really lived in like a liberal city. I've always lived like in a conservative part of the country, which is in Florida, and now I'm out here in Texas. So I've always had the conservative point of view around me. And I hear what they have to say, like people are suffering the same way they are, and then people want to, blame them for being white for other people's problems. They're like, oh, you're white, you're part of the problem. I've literally heard that. Like, you're white, you're part of the problem. It's like, what the fuck? How? Like, they're not part of the government. What? I don't mind white people. I like white people. They're pretty cool. But it's the government, the ones that's being dicks. Just because they happen to be white, and because we keep fucking voting them in, or we don't fucking vote for people that we actually want to represent us. That's actually the fucking problem, is that white people are the only ones that fucking vote. Because they sign up and shit, and they actually have time to do paperwork because they're not getting harassed by immigration or cops or being oppressed by anybody. So they actually have time to fucking vote. They actually have time to fill in the fucking the forms and all the correct paperwork and live in the right areas to where your vote counts, which is kind of racist, but that's not technically their fault. It's the government's fault, because they're the ones that sit there and draw out like little sections that they know are gonna win, and then they draw it out to benefit their final points on the little senates. It's called gerrymandering. For people out there that want to learn more about it, y'all can Google it, because I'm not going to get in depth with it, mainly because I don't really know that much about it. I just know basically what it is and what it does, and that it's bad. So they don't really have a say in what it is that is going on in the country, but they are getting blamed for a lot of what is wrong with the country, and they're going through the same things that other people are going through. So I understand what they're getting mad about, and they're like, oh, we're just white. And then people are like, oh, well, you're part of the problem. It's like, but why? I'm just white. They're like, well, because your whiteness helps in giving power to the machine that oppresses us. It's like, but we're just white. And some people are getting mad at that. But there are other people that just are completely racist, which are the people that mainly went out there to Charlottesville, Virginia, which are basically all the fucking people that went out there in Charlottesville, Virginia. And it's crazy because they're holding a fucking Nazi flag. And I remember a time, well, I don't remember a time because I actually wasn't alive, but I remember hearing about a time when I heard about this in history, when we actually all unified as one country and fought the Nazis, which is a little weird, because imagine, right now we're talking shit about China or North Korea. Let's say we're talking shit about, Donald Trump's talking shit about North Korea, and we actually go to war. Everybody's united. People go over there, we fight, we kick ass, we win, we all come back, and maybe 50, 60 years from now, somebody is in office that starts feeding the same type of shit that North Korea was saying with all these people are trying to invade us and stuff like that. And let's say people start waving the North Korean flag and the American flag right next to it. Wouldn't that just look a little weird to see people representing somebody that we literally had to fight, that was threatening us as a nation, not us as, brown people, because the Nazis weren't just against, brown and yellow people. That's not right. Lighter brown people, Asians, y'all know what I'm talking about. They weren't just against people of color. They were against Americans. They were against fucking Europe. They were against I don't know, who else were they against? Who was our allies? Japan, maybe? No, Japan was against us. China. Was China helping us in the World War II? Or was that just, were they against us? I don't remember. But they're against a whole bunch of other white people too. And they didn't just hate us because they're, Americans had brown people. They hated us as Americans. They hated us as a unified thought, as like one idea, the idea of being American. That's what they hated us as, not as, the brown people and the white people that live over there in America. They hated us as Americans. So for them to bring out the Nazi flag right next to the American flag and be like, well, this is what we identify as, people that wanted to kill us and us on the same side, which is a little weird. Can you imagine like the Patriots and I don't know much about football. Who's the Patriots arch nemesis? The Dallas Cowboys? I don't know. The Giants, the New York Giants, and the New England Patriots. Yeah, let's say, there's some people outside holding both flags. They'd get the shit punched out of them. Like, quit being stupid. You can't be on both sides. You gotta pick a fucking team, you idiot. So pick a fucking team, idiots. Are you either gonna be a Nazi or are you gonna be a fucking American? Because if you're gonna be a Nazi, then you can't be American, you fucking idiot. Because Nazis didn't like America. They didn't like the idea of America. I don't know, man. But anyways, Donald Trump didn't even want to fucking separate himself from the racist people out there in Charlottesville. So, and you know exactly why he doesn't want to separate from them is because he's talking shit to North Korea. The only people that support him are these fucking Nazi people. Well, not the only people that support him. Well, maybe now, yeah. Maybe now the only people that support him, because there's a shitload of people that are against Donald Trump. People that don't like the way he's fucking doing shit. Because he's doing some stupid shit. So maybe the only people that do support him now are the Nazis. It might be a fair statement to say now. But the only reason he's not separating himself from them, because he's talking all this shit to North Korea, and those are going to be the only people willing to go to war for him. Because everybody else is going to be like, yeah, fuck you. I'm not going to fucking fight for your dumbass self. You're over here talking all this shit. Like, why the fuck don't you go to fight, bitch? If the Nazis, if he does say, that he doesn't like the Nazi people supporting him, and that he doesn't, what's it called? That he doesn't associate himself with them, that he doesn't want their support or whatever, they're not going to fight their war or that war for him. Right now they're willing to go to war because they're like, oh, he said we're going to take our country back. It's like, geez, you're a fucking idiot. They're going to go fight in North Korea. And if he does say, I don't want to fuck with me, they're not going to go fight. So it's just going to be fucking Donald Trump that has to go over there with his fucking khakis and a white polo with the sharpened golf club, and he's gonna go over there and have to fight that fucking war himself. If he does say, he doesn't fuck with the Nazi people. But if he doesn't, he might have all them people being like, hell yeah, let's go over there to North Korea and kick some little mushroom-headed motherfuckers. Tired of them talking all this shit. I brought my own gun. Yeehaw. That's how it's gonna sound on the fucking convoy over there. It's gonna be nothing but that. They say that they're gonna fucking do a draft. I wish they would. There's gonna be a shitload of people going to prison. Cause I'm not going to the fucking war. Not for this jackass. Not for this fucking idiot of a president. I'm not gonna fucking sit here and go to war for this moron. I'd rather get arrested. Like, you want to go to jail or you want to go to war? Definitely take me to jail, motherfucker. You could throw me to jail for 20 years. I'm not going to fucking fight that war. Not for this fucking moron who didn't need to talk all that shit that he was talking. Who doesn't know how to back up all that shit he's talking. Who didn't even fucking deserve to be president in the fucking first place. If it wasn't for this goddamn system that we have in place, that stupid electoral college shit. Some 300-year-old fucking process that we don't even fucking need anymore because it doesn't make any fucking sense. Why don't we just have it by the fucking popular vote, yo? It's so much fucking simpler. The whole reason that we had the electoral college was so people like Trump couldn't get into office. And guess what? A person like Trump got into fucking office, and now we have this shit. I don't even know if this is gonna change anything. Like the whole voting process shit. Nobody gives a fuck until next year. Well, not even next year, until next round. Another 4 years, that's gonna be the time that people actually give a fuck. They're gonna be like, oh, nope, I actually gotta vote this time. And then they're gonna be like, oh, fuck, well, it's still the same way. Oh, well, I'm not gonna vote because my vote doesn't matter. It's like, well, how are we gonna change this shit? It's like, well, I don't know, but if I vote, it's not gonna matter anyways, so why vote whenever my vote isn't gonna change the voting process? So I'm not gonna vote to change the voting process, because if I vote, it's not gonna vote towards the voting process. I hope that fucking made sense. I hope all of that made sense. But yeah, man. You think it's actually gonna change? I don't fucking know, man. I hope so. I really do hope so. But I'm skeptical, man. Because America's getting dumber by the year. Every year we see America do something dumber. Every year we see America do something dumber. And I don't know, man. I don't know if it's our fault. I don't know if it's lack of resources. I don't know if it's because, like a slow incline to where we've gotten to, and maybe it gets better. Who fucking knows? Is it a slow build up? Is it something that we, just a random outlier that we're going through, just a random fucking anomaly? I don't fucking know. But I hope shit gets better. I hope this isn't what we've been fucking working up to. I hope we've been working up to something different. Just, we kind of tripped and fucked up our knee along the way. And now we got to get a cast. But unfortunately, where we broke our knee is now getting an infection, and now it's threatening nuclear war with North Korea. So, I'm sorry, people. I told y'all that this was going to be a really fucking dark podcast. Y'all didn't believe me. That's why I had to start it off with that, hello, governor, that shit. Because I couldn't have, started it off with dark, just being like, you know what? North Korea. Because then people would have tuned out immediately. Because I'm pretty sure people are already fucking tired of hearing that shit. Like, that's all people are talking about. It's because it's the only thing that really matters. Like, I don't even want to fucking get groceries, because I don't want a nuclear war to happen. And I don't want to be like, damn, man, I could have used those $200 to flee the country. So I don't want to buy groceries. I mean, nothing but fast food. I'm getting fat again. All because there's going to be a nuclear war. I'm just kidding. I'm not really that worried because they said that the missile can only get anywhere from Los Angeles to Colorado to Chicago and New York. So it's like a little diagonal line to where they say that their possible reach from North Korea is. And for once, I'm happy I'm here in Texas. I would rather be in Florida because it's farther away from where they said they want to blow up, which is like New York. And do they want to hit Los Angeles? Is that a target of theirs? I don't know. I think it would be New York first because that's where our like financial thing is. Los Angeles is basically where like we make movies and pornos and shit like that. So I don't know if they would really want to hit Los Angeles. They might want to hit New York. So people of New York, if you hear, you know, Korea's tripping, just leave the fucking city, cause that's just gonna get crazy. I don't know. What if it's a dud? What if they shoot off a fucking missile and it's just a dud? It's like psh, goes out in the fucking outer space, comes out the atmosphere, and then it re-enters, and you see it coming down, heading towards New York City. It looks all impressive. It's coming down. It's got that perfect little arch, and it hits the I don't know it hits Trump Tower out there in New York. Hopefully that's where it's fucking heading. It hits Trump Tower right there in New York, and just bink, does nothing, just bounces off. I mean, it might cause some damage on like somebody's car, or I don't know, if it hits a building, it might fuck up, you know, some windows. It might do some structural damage. But if it lands in the street, it might just fuck up a car. Or I don't know, because it's coming out from outer space, so it might, you know, fuck up something. But what if it doesn't actually explode the way it's supposed to? That'd be very embarrassing. If it just, you know, bink, doesn't do shit. It's like, what the fuck was that? Everybody starts laughing at him. And his final moments on the earth, because you know we're going to retaliate. His final moments on the earth was the whole world laughing at him. It's like, ah ha 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 ha. And they said he was an artillery expert whenever he was little. Which is what his people around him want people to think is what they're trying to push as propaganda, saying that, you know, Kim Jong-un was supposedly an artillery expert, which is what they're trying to say to the people to give them more confidence in Kim Jong-un as a leader, because they didn't trust him because he was only 18 years old whenever he came into office. And so they said that he was a little artillery expert or whatever, which I thought was funny, because I couldn't picture that guy with a fucking like AK-47 shooting at a fucking, you know, dummy of some American like people on it, like a doll of Barack Obama or something like that, with his AK-47 on his fucking shoulder, and as he's shooting it with his little pig in a blanket fucking fingers, his fat little cheeks start jiggling, just poof, 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 poof. And his freaking cheeks are like moving like a freaking bulldog. Just, I don't know how cheeks would sound. I would, like, you know, pull my cheek on it and like smack it against my teeth, but that would sound like I'm masturbating, and I don't want somebody to open my YouTube video and just randomly click somewhere in the time and then it just be me making that sound with my cheek and they thinking it's me masturbating and they flag me. So I'm not gonna do it. But that's how I imagine it would sound, him shooting a fucking gun. It would be a combination of gunshots and his fat face just jiggling. Because I'm pretty sure his cheeks are gonna make a really loud sound. He's really a pudgy kid. He's a really, really pudgy kid. You know what he looks like? He looks like Snow Brothers. He looks like one of them characters from Snow Brothers off the classic NES, the Nintendo console. He looks like that fucking game. Just built like a Snow Brother. People say the Doughboy, but I say he looks more like a Snow Brother. Because he's got that snowball head. He's got like a snowman fucking head. That's how he's built. Just three perfect little spheres stacked on top of each other. I couldn't picture it. Him shooting the fucking AK-47. I couldn't picture him throwing a grenade. I couldn't picture him fucking throwing a salad. No, that's not what it's called, right? Tossing a salad. I couldn't picture him doing that. And I don't mean eating somebody's butt, by the way. I don't know how the phrase tossing a salad translates in licking somebody's booty hole, but it does. So, I don't know, man. Should I talk about something different? I don't want to bore you guys out with North Korea. I was just letting you guys know what I know. Well, what I found out is, some random guy named Kim Il Sung or something like that. Kim Jong Sung, Kim Sung Bu, Kim Lee, Lil Kim. I don't know what the fuck the guy's name was anymore because I already put my phone away. And that's where I had all my notes, which is the reason that my first bit of my podcast was a little bit rocky. It was something Kim, which is a little weird. Is their first name their last name over there? Because over here, whenever you have a last name your last name from your father gets passed on to you. And over there, they all have the first name Kim. Is that their last name? Is their first name their last name? And are they literally backwards over there? Because that's a little fucking weird. Kim Jong-un, Kim Song-il, Kim Jong-il, and Kim Soo-young, Kim Sung-jung, Kim... I don't know what the fuck the guy's name was. But, yeah, just 3 generations of psychos who have too much fucking power. I don't think nobody should have that much fucking power. Nobody should have that much say in a company. Nobody should have that much say in a country. Like, even a fucking company has a board of CEOs. Like, he has some advisors, but they're all fucking licking on his nuts and stroking his dick because they don't want to get beheaded. So they're all just freaking telling him yes on every single thing he fucking says. And nobody ever questions him. And that's how you get a fucking... that hairdo, first of all. That's how you get that hairdo, is because nobody tells you no. Second, that's how you get a fucking psycho mentality, because nobody fucking checks you. He needs somebody right next to him being like, first of all, we're only the 4th military in the fucking world. The United States is the 1st. By a lot. And I mean a lot. Right now is one of the only times that I'm actually kind of happy that the United States has that ridiculous spending in military. This is one of the reasons where I'm kind of like, you know what? Maybe conservatives are a little bit right. Maybe we need to spend that much money in the military to keep us safe. Because we are pulling some bullshit. Which is part of the reason that we need that much funding to the military. Because we're over here doing some bullshit that we don't need to be fucking involved in whatsoever. And that's also part of the reason that people don't like us. And part of the reason that we need that shit. So, I don't know, man. It's kind of like a self-fulfilled prophecy. Like, you're over there thinking that you're gonna, I don't know, poop on yourself while you're driving home because you just ate some Chipotle. And you're driving home, you think you're gonna poop yourself. You're like, fuck. Hopefully I don't poop myself, even though I don't have to poop. And now you got the thought in your head. Now your brain is transmitting to your butthole saying, let's poop ourselves. So while you're driving home, you're thinking, alright, I hope I don't poop myself. Even though I don't have to poop, hopefully I don't poop myself. Now why would I even think about that? Because I don't have to poop. Like, I don't know. And then all of a sudden it hits you. You're like, oh shit, I gotta poop. And then you driving, And for whatever reason, the universe always puts fucking red lights in front of you whenever you're in a rush. So you're driving home, hitting every fucking red light on the way back, and you're like, shit, hopefully I don't poop myself. Hopefully I don't poop myself. And then you get home. You're fumbling with the keys because you're excited and you're nervous. Well, you're not really excited, but you're scared. You have to go. So you're over there fumbling with the keys. You can't get it in. You're like, fuck, wrong key. So you put the other one in. You put the right one in. You finally get it. Oh, yes. Go. And then as you're approaching the bathroom, it gets worse. Because your butthole knows. It's like, oh, I sense the toilet. I sense the toilet. That means we're about to be on the home stretch. We're about to make it. So it starts loosening up because it knows it's coming up, and they don't, want that much, force to be there whenever you finally release. But right before you open the bathroom door, just no, I was wearing khakis. And that's a fucking self-fulfilled prophecy. That's what the fucking United States is doing in our fucking military shit. We're over here shitting our pants for no fucking reason. All because we had that thought. All because we had the thought that we were going to shit ourselves. We ended up shitting ourselves in the form of some goofy hair dude motherfucker like on the other side of the world. We kept pushing it, man. We kept feeding into their stupid narrative, like, oh, they're gonna overthrow us. Which, are we? Is Kim Jong-un really that paranoid? It's like, oh, they're trying to invade us. Like, we might be, yo. I don't know. I don't know, because we're always doing some random shit like that. We're always trying to infiltrate fucking countries and shit like that. But we say it's for our protection, trying to spread democracy or something like that, which I agree, people should have the right to vote. People should be able to decide on their future. But shouldn't that be up to the people when they want to do it? Shouldn't they be willing? Because even whenever you go into AA, they say, are you willing to change? Like, do you want to change? And if the person says no, they're going to be like, oh, well, we don't want to help them because we're just going to be wasting resources with this person on trying to change somebody who doesn't want to change. What if the North Korean people don't want to fucking change? What if those other countries that we invaded didn't want to change? What if they're like, no, we kind of like this. Like, look, I don't need to eat every fucking day, Like, I like rations. I like rationing my shit, It keeps me disciplined. It keeps me thin. Because I have an eating problem, I don't like, having to worry about my food. I don't have to download Weight Watchers because Kim Jong-un does this for us. What if, they like that lifestyle? Who are we to judge what lifestyle they want to choose? They could choose whatever they want, as long as, they're 18 and older. And they're not trying to push a 7 or 8 year old into being a suppressed citizen of a dictatorship. That's, that's me trying to blend it in with the transgender stuff. So, I don't know, man. How the fuck did I get back on there with North Korea? Yeah, man, I don't want to fucking talk about that shit, yo. I've already been reading too much about it. I've already been hearing about it every fucking day. But I mean, it's serious, yo. And you know what I'm thinking? I'm thinking Trump is just trying to distract everybody from everything else he's doing. So he's putting the fucking American people at risk just to fucking save his own fucking ass. I would definitely not count it out from this fucking guy who would throw anyone under the fucking bus to save his own ass. This guy doesn't give a shit about anybody else but himself, and you can see it right now You know what? I'm gonna go ahead and fucking call it. I bet you he doesn't give a fuck about North Korea. He's probably gonna even call fucking that guy Kim Jong Un and be like, "Look, man, I just want you to go along, saying, yeah, we're gonna bomb you guys, but really don't bomb us, please, because I don't want to go to war with you guys, and I just kind of want them to ease off of this Russia stuff. I don't want them to find out what I was doing, so let's pretend that we're gonna end civilization. Maybe just for a couple months, it doesn't have to carry on for years, but maybe for a couple months while, something else comes up. Maybe I might pick a fight with, Iceland or something like that. So let's just do this for a couple months and, maybe we can move on. It doesn't have to, our friendship can continue. This back and forth that we're doing, our playful bickering can continue. I wouldn't doubt that he's fucking doing this shit to save his own ass. Like, he really seems like that fucking type of person that's like, well, as long as they're not talking about me and they're worried about this shit, as long as I don't get indicted, oh, well, y'all can't indict me because we're in the middle of a war. Who's gonna, continue with this war if I get indicted? I'm the one that started it. It's my war. Why shouldn't I finish it? I don't want that guy fucking leading us in a war. Seems like he's gonna do some dumb shit. He's gonna fucking send people on boats. He's gonna send people on canoes because he's trying to save money. Because he's also a businessman, so he's trying to lower the bottom line on everything. So he's gonna send our troops in on the on those wind surfboards, the ones that have the little parasail attached to the surfboard. Is that what they're called? The wind surfboard? I don't know. He's gonna send our troops in on that shit to save money because he don't want to spend money on a fucking naval fleet. I don't trust this guy, man. He doesn't seem like he has his head on for anything. I don't think there's anything that Donald Trump is good at. No, that's a fucking lie. Donald Trump is great at just avoiding questions. I'm not saying, doing what politicians do, which is, just give you a non-answer where they answer, but they don't answer at the exact same time they're just speaking. Donald Trump just fucking walks away. Like, they asked him about, what the fuck did they ask him about? I think it was something about, I want to say North Korea because that's the only thing that everybody's been asking or talking about lately. But they asked him something at like a hearing or a press conference or something like that. And he just goes back up to the podium. He's like, well, they said we're going to sign it over here, but now they're saying we're going to sign it over here. So I think we're going to sign it over here instead. Okay. And the guy's like, excuse me, we're going to, what happened to my question? And he just walks off like a fucking dick. Like, you heard him. Like, quit being a fucking jackass. There's no background noise. You can clearly hear what the guy's saying. There's nobody speaking to you. There's nothing in your ear. There's no, like, secret CIA, Secret Service earpiece that you have feeding you fucking information into your ear on any of them. But you're gonna act like you didn't hear this guy's question. Like, that's the one thing that he's good at, is just avoiding the question. Just acting like he didn't hear that shit. Can you imagine somebody doing that shit to you on the street? Like, excuse me, can you tell me how to get to Main Street? Just keeps fucking like, oh, there's a Papa John's Pizza right here, and I was gonna go to Papa John's Pizza, but now I'm gonna go to Burger King. And then he just goes to Burger King. And he's just gonna be like, alright, thanks, you fucking dick. For nothing. I still don't know how to get to fucking Main Street. That reporter did not know how to get to Main Street. Because I don't remember what the fuck he asked, though. It was like something important. He just fucking ignores it. Like, if the guy's a ghost and everybody else is that little kid with the sixth sense, except Donald Trump, he can't see him because he's dead. But everybody else is there hearing him and seeing him. I don't know, man. Terrible times, yo. Terrible fucking times. And I'm supposed to make y'all laugh. I'm trying to be here to, ease up a little bit on the conversation, which I don't think I'm doing that good of a job on. And of course, there's gonna be some fucking dickhead truck with some shitty mufflers that wants to fucking interrupt the podcast with the train right next to it, if I'm not fucking mistaken. So that's why I need to invest in a better fucking studio. I don't know why fucking people are always trying to cut off their mufflers, like their fucking car sounds better without it. I always hear that shit. There's always some shitty truck with fucking their mufflers cut off. It has nothing done to the motor, so it doesn't even sound like it goes fast. It just sounds like it's fucking, what's it called, backfiring. And they're over here riding around like they're cool. Just because it's loud and it makes fucking loud noises. It doesn't sound fast, it doesn't sound cool, it's just loud for no reason whatsoever. It's like, how fast does it go? Oh, it goes 0 to 60 in 3.5 gallons. I was like, that's terrible. Like, yeah, but it sounds nice. Like, no, it sounds terrible. But it looks nice. No, it looks terrible. But it, it's low. Yeah, and you have a fucking city full of potholes. Well, I like it. Well, I can't argue with that on there. So, I don't know, man. It's just rude ass people. Rude ass, dumbass people. Why am I so angry, yo? Wasn't I just telling you guys that I wanted to cheer you guys up, and I'm over here being angry? I'm over here getting you guys angry too. I bet there's somebody out there that was listening that was in a great mood before I started talking, and now they're in a terrible mood because of my mannerisms and my choice of subject matter. But I'm sorry, man. That's what I've been fucking hearing. That's the only thing I could talk about because that's all that's going on. Well, that's not all that's going on in the world. I'm pretty sure there's some fucking Somalian civil war or something like that that's going on in some country that we've never heard of, that we can't identify on a map, even if they gave us 5 fucking chances. I'm pretty sure that's going on in the world, but you never hear about that shit like in the news and stuff like that because it's not sensational and they can't sell bounty towels off of it. Because North Korea will give you clicks. You'll get a bunch of fucking clicks with North Korea because we've been watching North Korea for a while. We've had our tensions with North Korea for a while, and they've finally started, having nuclear warheads. But you know what I think? I think that guy's just looking for respect. Wait, I said I'm not going to talk about this anymore. Stop fucking talking about it. What the hell is wrong with you? So, I don't know, man. What else? Should I go back to the depressing thing of the racist people? Should I give them more airtime? Should I talk about them? Does that help what they're trying to do if I start the conversation about them? Here's the question. Is the conversation about the Nazis giving them more legitimacy than they deserve? Because us talking about it and discussing it is basically making it a valid idea. Whether we choose to accept it or not is basically validating all that stupid shit that, they did because we're talking about it. If we just ignored it, what would have happened? Is it something that it was big enough to address? They had that one guy that fucking ran those people over, which is fucked up, which makes me think, like, if I go to a protest, I might have to carry a weapon, because you never fucking know when them retards are gonna be doing some shit. But you also don't want to get shot by the police. Because I'm brown. And if you protest while brown, you might get shot. That's an offense here. Dude, we have some weird ass fucking tendencies that we tend to do. Because, you tend to do your tendencies. That's why they're called tendencies, because you tend to do them. So we have these weird ass things that we fucking do. And I don't know how it is in other countries. I know how it kind of is over there in Mexico. They have some fucked up things too, but they're basically like a drug-based economy. Mexico is the dealer, and America is definitely the junkie. Because we do buy a shitload of fucking drugs from Mexico. And that gives the money to fucking cartels, which, in turn funds them. And in turn, money is power. And they have the power to take over bigger areas because they have the resources to do so, because they have the money that we keep giving to them. And it's a fucking never-ending circle. That's why I was thinking, I was like, we should fucking end the war on drugs. I know it's not an original idea, but it's something we gotta do. If we don't want fucking more crime and shit in our country, if we want to reduce the crime, why not, stop punishing people for shit that doesn't harm anybody but themselves? Like, if you drink fucking, I don't know, Drano, you're not gonna get fined for it, but Drano will fucking kill you. Like, some drugs will kill you, yeah, but others don't. So why is it that the ones that don't are illegal, like the ones that do kill you, even though there's stuff that is legal that can still kill you? Like, aspirins are fucking legal. They could kill you. You know what else is legal that can kill you? Coffee. I found out that if you drink, what is it, like 14 cups of coffee or something like that, you're dead. You're fucking dead, man. There's too much caffeine in there, and your heart will stop, and your brain will sweat, and you will die. Because you're not supposed to have that much caffeine, because it's a fucking drug. You know what's a drug? It's a drug that can kill you. And it's legal, though, because people are okay with caffeine. They're like, oh, well, it gives me energy. So does cocaine. That's not fucking legal. And it can also kill you. I don't know if 14 cups of cocaine will kill you. I'm pretty sure 14 cups of cocaine will kill you. But what about 14 hits? I don't know. I don't know how cocaine works. I've never done it, but I have done weed. And I could tell you, people don't die from weed. And it's still illegal. You know what else you could fucking die from that's legal? Cinder blocks. Like, you could hit somebody with a cinder block and they're fucking dead. And that only takes one hit. And that's legal. Just because you can abuse the natural or the original purpose of an item doesn't mean that that item should be illegal, because certain people might take advantage of that item. That's why you should not fucking, criminalize weed. You know what happens whenever you decriminalize weed? You get rid of the black market for drugs. You know what happens whenever you don't have a black market? You don't have the crime that goes along with the black market to keep it black. And why is it called a black market? Is that racist? Was that what's it called, was that part of the Nazis doing? Was that something that the Nazis did? Because that would be a little fucked up. Why is it called black market? I might have to look that up. But anyways, yeah, man. What else is going on? What else is fucking going on in the world? They have that Usher thing, which I don't really give a fuck about. Apparently Usher gave people herpes. And it's like, of course he did. He's Usher. Like, it'd be news if he didn't give people herpes. Like, I could picture it on the fucking Wall Street Journal. Usher, STD free. It's like, what? The only person in Hollywood or in the music industry without an STD. That would be fucking news. Doesn't surprise me that Usher would give somebody herpes. What does surprise me is that girl that came out about it, though. And I'm not going to make any fat jokes. But I am going to ask, was her blood test homogenized? That's a serious question, yo. You could laugh if you want, but that's a serious fucking question. I'm being dead serious. Was her blood test homogenized? Because you don't want the fat particles to separate from the protein in that blood to make sure that there are no STDs hiding behind the fat particles. No, that's terrible. So is her diet. But that's not the point here, man. The thing that I'm wondering is, like, why are there people that want to fucking make a name off of other people's lowest points? And people always want to fucking sue nowadays, too. Like, nobody wants to fucking work. Nobody wants to sit there and make a name for themselves doing something that they want to do. Nobody wants to be great at what they do. People just want to fucking sue somebody who already made it and get their fucking money off that way, because people are fucking lazy and people don't want to work and they just want to be able to fucking live the rest of their lives spending other people's hard-earned money. I think they should have, well, they do. You could countersue people. Like Usher is countersuing like the fat chick and the other people, because I guess he's saying he doesn't have STDs or he doesn't have herpes. Like, oh, you want to say that I got herpes? Well, I got a lawsuit for you, bitch. You just got served. Like he just, danced on him or something. But I don't know, man. Should there be jail time for it? Should you go to jail for lying about somebody else and then their reputation gets damaged and they suffer financially because they have to hire a lawyer and all this bullshit? Should that be a prison time, or should that just be a monetary compensation? Like, why do we always have to boil shit down to money? If you lie about me, you gotta pay me. If you give me something on my dick, you gotta pay me. Because there was a guy that came out with Usher too. I was like, there's a guy that said he got herpes from herpes from Usher. I almost said herpes from STD, but that's not his name. His name's Usher. There's a guy that came out, and then that fat chick, and then some other girl that, doesn't want to have her name out there because she still wants to have sex and not tell people that she has herpes, and she doesn't have any money yet, so people can't sue her for giving them herpes. Because if you're broke and you give somebody herpes, you just gave somebody herpes. But if you're rich and you give somebody herpes, you gotta give them herpes and 20 million. So I don't know, is that fair? We always boil shit down to money. Is that what, sacrificing your sex life is going to be? Is that what you get paid for, or are you paying for the medications that they gotta take? I'm pretty sure they got a cream for herpes. Herpes cream. It's called like Valtrex or something like that. I don't know, but you get lip herpes. It's basically what cold sores are. Cold sore is like a different form of herpes, so it's still herpes. In like the same way that a rectangle is square, I guess. So that happened. That's the only thing I could really think of that, because those are only like 3 stories that have been able to sneak onto the headlines amidst all the fucking Trump bullshit that he's doing, man. Can we just have 1 week off? We just have 1 week where Trump ain't fucking up the earth for 7 billion people, because it's not like he's just hurting us. Not like what he does just affects us. It's weird the way this economy works, that everything fucking ties in together. It's a little fucking house of cards, and every little card has its meaning and its little placement. If one of those cards gets moved, or one of those, like little areas of the house starts falling, then the rest of the house comes with it. That's the way our fucking economy is structured. All of these countries, all of these fucking, different cities and all that shit are intertwined so deeply within one another that if one thing happens to one, it happens to all of them, because they're all reliant on each other. It's really weird. Which I guess is the exact same way that the ecosystem works. Because, like, if bees die, we're not going to be able to eat apples. And I like apples. But I don't like bees. So I'm torn. Like, should we save the bees and keep the apples? Or kill the bees? Sacrifice the apples. And the raspberries. And the blueberries. And the oranges. And the plums, and the roses, and the oak trees, and the weed trees. Not the weed trees. See, now I just touched something that was personal to me, so now I identify with it, and I don't want the bees to go. Now I'm gonna go out there and I'm gonna protest some bee killers. Or what the fuck is killing bees? What are bees' natural fucking predator? Is it bears, because they're always eating their honey? But honey doesn't really mean anything to bees. They just make it. Why do bees make honey? Do they just like the way it looks? Do they use it for construction? What if it's their house and we eat it? Like every time that a fucking farmer or one of those bee farmers goes in there and takes all the honey away from the bees, they're just like, why do they keep destroying my fucking house? Like, I literally just build a house every fucking week. I go out, I get all this fucking nectar or whatever, pollen, or I think it is nectar, from all these different fucking, plants. I come here and I make my house, and this guy just keeps coming over here and fucking taking it. Blows smoke in my face. He takes my fucking house. I don't fucking like this. What if, like, there's a bigger fucking creature that came and just took your house every week? You sit there, lay the foundation, put the fucking brick and mortar on there, put up the framing, drywall, carpet, roof. Well, you have to put the roof before, you put anything else. So, anyways, you build the structure, put your house up, got the welcome sign in front, everything. You put the little porch lights, you got the fucking drapes to match the carpet, which isn't a sexual innuendo, but you could take it that way if you want. You got the dining room set that matches the fucking TV stand. You got your bedroom, and this guy comes and takes it every fucking week, or this beast just comes and takes it every week. Like, why the fuck is he taking my house? Like, he just eats it. He puts it on bread and he fucking eats it. I don't know if that's really what bees use honey for, though. I don't think that's what... No, because they got their nest. So what the fuck is the honey for? Just makes it because it smells nice? Do they like getting attacked by bears? Do they like making it for humans? What is the use in honey? What is the deal with honey? I don't know, man. I don't know. But anyways, I think this has been enough for, a pretty decent episode of the Toker Talk Tuesday motherfucking podcast with your boy Ro. And this has been episode number 12. And I want to thank you guys for joining me, because you didn't have to join me, which you probably didn't join me throughout the whole thing. But if you did, gracias. And I will see you guys here next week on another Tuesday, on another beautiful Tuesday. So I will see you guys here next week. And this has been the Toker Talk Tuesday podcast with your boy Ro.